Hey there, Drew. Auditing Reno 911 is the channel. I just got out of court. I appreciate everybody watching the live feed from a little earlier. And a little update on what happened today with my hearing with Deputy Jason Bueno. Jason Bueno is the deputy that illegally arrested me and then locked me in the back of his patrol vehicle, closed up all of the windows. There were no vents open. It was a 95-degree day, and then he hotboxed me. So Jason Bueno went to the court and he's petitioned for a restraining order against me. Evidently he fears me. It's a cowardly move to me. Evidently he doesn't like being called a coward either. Jason Bueno, you're a coward. Put it out there. You're a coward. So anyways, the judge did let me record what happened partially in there after he'd made his decision to allow the recording, so I'll share that with all of you guys. It was a good day. I do have court again next Wednesday at 2 p.m., and then we're going to make some arguments and things like that. So things basically did go the way that I wanted them to go today. The judge looked at my requests, the lack of service, gave me some time to respond, and replied today in the affirmative that I could record today's hearing, and I did so with restrictions, so I'll share that with you. The next hearing, like I said, to repeat, is next Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm going to petition the court to record that one too, and hopefully I'll be able to bring that out to you. So, it was a good day. Bueno's arguments were, in my opinion, kind of weak. He's upset because people out there that have watched the videos, evidently somebody figured out his personal cell phone number or figured out how to get in touch with him and have been calling him and harassing him. So let me put this out there. Don't do that. Leave the man alone on his personal stuff. This is a business thing. Call his employer. Let them know. Call the government. Don't call the man at work. Don't threaten the man. I've got no ill will towards the man. I just don't believe he should be a cop. And I think that he needs to go through that legal process. I think that the legal process needs to look at him and put him through the process for the illegal arrest and the hotbox torture that evidently nobody's investigated. Deputy Bueno did tell me that there are going to be criminal charges filed against me for my posting of my videos. Deputy Bueno is telling me that my videos have been edited and are not accurate. If any of you guys out there watching the videos, show me where you think I'm not accurate or I'm lying or I'm misrepresenting the truth. The only thing that I try to do is show all the verbal interaction, all of the stuff. The only thing that I truly edit out on these videos, I try to record most everything live, and then I take the live stream down and edit it down to get rid of the dead spots so you guys aren't bored and listening to silence. Kind of gets boring to me in the videos. So anyways, he's accusing me of making fake videos. He told me that I was not a journalist today. I think everybody can be a journalist. You just need to pick up something, gather some information on topics, and disseminate it to the public. It's pretty simple to be a journalist. It's pretty simple to exercise all of our constitutional right to be a member of press, to gather information and disseminate it to the people so that the people can decide what they believe. That's why I like this format. The videos don't lie, the pictures don't lie, the audio doesn't lie. So anyways, feel pretty good. Yeah, I think today went well. The judge that was there today is a judge that I've been in front of before. It was many years ago. He didn't remember me. I did remember him. And what I appreciated about the judge, and I told him this, is the man, the way he runs his court is he's a very precise individual. He likes to go through each one of the aspects of the law and aspects of the rules, ask questions, get answers, and make sure that he's following the process. So I really did appreciate the judge that I had today. So Judge, thank you if you watch this. I appreciate your demeanor, just like I told you. And the last time we interacted was probably 5-6 years ago in a small claims case. And he did the same thing, and he ruled very fairly then. So unfortunately, though, that judge is not going to be the judge next week. We have a different judge next week, so hopefully that judge will be equally as diligent with this one about reading the black and the white of the law and interpreting it and making a decision based on that. If he does that, I should have no problem avoiding Mr. Bueno's restraining order, because Mr. Bueno, I've never threatened him. I've never done anything. I've never stalked him. I've never harassed him. The only thing I've ever done is publish videos of him when he's at work or question his integrity of work. And whoever got his phone number, lose his phone number. You don't need that. Anyways, like I said, don't want to blather on too much here. Here's the video of the court proceedings, and appreciate all of you guys. Share this information around. Get it out to other channels. Hopefully they can disseminate it and get more people aware of what's going on in our local communities and how the government treats all of us. Peace out. Like, subscribe, ding that little bell. Have a happy day. Thank you much.
I'm not sure what you're asking. I mean, if what you're saying is if he posts the recording of me and the audio of the hearing, you want to do what with it?
Very shortly there'll be a cease and desist from my personal injury attorney to remove all content from YouTube, as it's libelous and damaging, and it was proven such. So in order for him to further where he's going with this now, my concern is obviously that this recording is going to be used in the exact same way that he's been stalking myself and my family.
And if there's some wrong that flows from that, there's consequences that are potential for it, but I'm allowing it. I am not ordering that he can or can't post this proceeding. That Mr. Rebar does at his own risk, like any person who posts anything under any circumstance. So he's allowed to record the court and audio of this proceeding, the other parties talking. That's been my ruling. We haven't, just for the, I'll call it the record, so to speak. The only record according to statute is the court's formal one. But for the sake of completeness for Mr. Rebar, when we started, we have been talking since the beginning of this about his initial request whether or not he could record the proceedings. I have examined Rule 229, 230, and the like regarding his ability to record. I have authorized a limited ability to record to protect the dignity of the proceedings and the individual's focus and ability to not be distracted. And the limitations that I have posted or ordered are that the camera, again, can be posted at me or directed at me. It can record audio of anything else in the courtroom. That's the extent of my ruling. I'm not, again, ruling whether or not he can do anything with the recording. So the next issue to address before getting to the merits of the matter are there was an opposition to the hearing. My understanding after reading it is that Mr. Rebar is asking for a continuance of this hearing because he was served, well, he was notified last night and indicated to the representative trying to serve him that he would be here. He was notified according to the document about 4:23 in the afternoon, stating he would be here. He has shown up to court, but he did not have the documents in hand until he was here. He indicated that he had the opportunity to briefly read the application. So the allegations that Mr. Bueno is making in attempts to obtain a protective order. So Mr. Rebar, you are here. You have submitted yourself to the jurisdiction of the court by showing up. You've been given a copy of the document. You have, you said, briefly read it. What do you need additional time for?
I'd like to go over the documents point by point. I'd like to go and I've got a subscription to LexisNexis. I'd like to go look at a lot of the case law. I'd like to confer with my attorney, Rich Salvatore, and get his personal advice and legal advice on dealing with this. And I'd like to take the time to write a complete response to the complaint and counter those issues and present evidence within my response.
This is in large part stemming from an event at the prison how long ago?
August 30th, 2022.
And then since then, you've been engaged in court hearings and making videos about this underlying subject matter, is that right?
For a time period after my arrest, I stopped making videos. My First Amendments were suppressed out of the fear that I was dealing with.
Did anyone order that, or did you do that?
It was just personal fear. Just personal fear of the retribution that the government was bringing down on me.
So hang on a second, when you read the document, were you surprised by any of the contents?
Yeah, I've never made a threat against the deputy. I didn't even know he had children until I read this document. Don't know anything about him or his personal life. The only thing that I'm concerned with is under his office, under his authority of law, doing his job. And from what I saw, he's violated my constitutional rights. And as you see that I've noticed the court, I have filed a tort claim against him and against many other individuals involved in the arrest.
Just 2 days ago.
Whatever the date, I gave you a copy of the complaint attached as Exhibit 1.
January 29th. So.
Yeah, so, and I've been working on that for a couple of months, so I did file that the other day. That's over at the process server to get served, so Deputy Bueno should be served with that very shortly, along with all the other parties named. So I do want to move forward, and he's made some allegations today, and I want to answer those allegations, and I hope he wants to answer my allegations. There is no personal animus in any of this.
So hang on a second, you say you want to move forward. He wants to defend yourself at a future date against this application for a TPO. That's what you mean by moving forward, or do you want to do it now?
No, I want to take my time and give you a written response to his complaint. And I want to counter all of his arguments, and I want to bring my documentation. As noted, I record and document and disseminate the information. There's videos showing exactly what I've done, exactly the actions, and we can compare those. So that way there doesn't need to be a question as to what I have or have not done. It's out there, it's recorded, just as his actions are. And I want to bring that information into the court in a reasonable way that's concise. And right now, if I've got to do it, I've just got to go blah, because I'm not prepared for this at all, because I've had, I found out 10 o'clock this morning when the gal from Carson City Sheriff's called me. Did I have knowledge that they were trying to serve me? Yes. I was on the phone trying to make arrangements to be served, to be at the locations where I said I would be, and then they kept changing the schedule on me.
That's not this morning. You were here this morning.
Oh, absolutely. I'm one of those human beings. Early is on time is late. I don't like being late. I like to be early. I like to be on time. I like to deal with the problems that are in front of me and solve the problems. And this is a problem to solve.
If I were to consider this request essentially to continue this hearing, how much time are you asking for?
What's the normal time of service in one of these things? When was this originally filed, and how long does it take them to? So it's taken them. So this was filed on January 19th. Today is the 31st. So it's taken them, what, 12 days to call me up on the phone and say, hey, serve me. I mean, they could have called me 12 days ago when they first did this, as opposed to calling me here at the beginning of this a few days ago.
So if I were to consider setting it over to another day, how much time do you need? A week?
Probably 10 days. That's probably fair. That gives me a week and a weekend to look at things.
Mr. Bueno, did you receive, I believe my bailiff told me you received a copy of the opposition to the hearing. In large part, there's it's not a long document, but there's some contesting of the underlying actions back at the prison a few years ago. But the whole gist of this entire document is asking for a continuance. We've heard now it's fairly brief, the continuance. What are your thoughts on that?
The damage has been done, and it's taken this amount of time to at least have a hearing on the matter. My thoughts are the threats to myself and my family instigated by Mr. Rebar are going to continue.
Objection.
And I believe that's his intention at this point, to continue to post inflammatory conduct in violation of NRS 200-575. And so I did briefly be able to review his opposition. I did note his continuance in writing of those false allegations as well.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts on going now versus just plain language with me? And maybe I didn't ask a good question, but what are your thoughts on doing it now versus, you know, next Friday, some point after that? Or I'm sorry, next Wednesday. We normally hear these absent a special set on Wednesdays. So if it were to go on a normal schedule, what are your thoughts on a future hearing as opposed to doing it now?
I would like a hearing as soon as possible. Obviously, there's exigency with ongoing threats to my family.
Okay.
So as soon as possible.
And I read in your original application, and this just goes to whether or not I can continue this, an allegation of threats, and that is a word, you know, like many others, that's subject to interpretation. For example, I have a case where the definition of tumultuous is at issue, and tumultuous, when you read it in a dictionary, is violent, riotous, loud types of activity. But in normal communication, you could say that, you know, the Buffalo Bills, for example, had a tumultuous season, ups and downs and losses and injuries and the like. So when I hear the word threats, the context for protective order, what I'm looking at is like either an explicit or an implied threat of actual physical harm to you, your family, your property. That's the type that I'm concerned about when I'm looking to continue or not. Has there been, on the recordings you've watched or communications you've had, that type of threat from Mr. Rebar himself?
Yes, sir.
Describe one.
His comments are a matter of record. The commentary from his false statements that he's made. I've received phone calls advising that they know where I live, they know where my children go to school. I've had family contacted with the same type of comments, all fueled from his false accusations.
Other people have reached out, not Mr. Rebar, is what you're saying?
I stopped answering the unknown callers but I'm still getting them through my voice messages through work. I'm not listening to all of them at this point because they're extremely vile.
What about a specific threat from Mr. Rebar right now? You know, I'm gonna come to your house and, you know, follow you in your vehicle everywhere you go to annoy you, or I'm going to hit you, or I'm going to, you know, do something to your property. Anything explicit like that?
I would have to go through the hundreds and hundreds of comments in order to specifically see. I don't watch all the content of his videos. I have someone that's doing that. So I would have to defer, and maybe that would be a time to be able to adequately present those as well.
Okay, so on the continuance question, it sounds like both parties could use time to prepare their essentially presentations, marshal their evidence. Normally in these hearings, they are fairly quick and summary. You hear verbal descriptions, make a decision. But it sounds like while I could likely do that, this one is well, like all cases, it's important to both parties. So I'm inclined, I guess, to continue it, but the question is to when. Before we started, when I saw this opposition to the hearing, I'll call it opposition today, I'll call it a motion to continue. Check with the clerk, had her check into the future, and we'd only, because of we were in the middle of hearings when I received this request. It looked as far out as the following week. Next Wednesday, there's only one case, the small claims at 1 o'clock, and there's the ability to come in later, say 2 o'clock, and there'd be about 3 hours that I could obligate the court to. It wouldn't be me, I'm already assigned elsewhere, but next Thursday, 2 o'clock, we could set this. It's not quite as much time as Mr. Rebar is asking for, but I think it also strikes a balance on the potential concerns that Mr. Bueno is bringing forward, his underlying concern for and allegations for safety. So is it correct, Ms. Clerk, that 2 o'clock next week is free if there's a small claims at 1 and that's it?
Yes, the 7th, Tuesday the 7th, yes, sir.
That's.
Oh, wait, that's Wednesday, I'm sorry,
Wednesday the 7th. Okay. That date isn't set in stone. Those are my thoughts on it. Mr. Rebar, is that possible for you?
Thursday, 2 p.m., sir, Your Honor?
Wednesday, 2 p.m.?
Wednesday, 2 p.m.
Next Wednesday?
I will make that happen. That gives me more time than I've had since last night to look at the papers and respond.
Is that
Yes, sir.
acceptable to you? Okay. Like I said, it will not be me. I have the prior trial set in a different jurisdiction. There'll be another judge sitting here, 2 o'clock next Wednesday the 7th, to discuss the merits. Mr. Rebar, you would likely want to, I'm not going to, I don't know what information may change between now and then, so I'm not going to have this be a continuing order for cameras in the courtroom. I've allowed it in the limited manner today after arguments. So if you wish to do it again, put in a request, and either the normal judges or the judge who will be presiding that day can have advance notice to look at it. So my order was for today. So if you wish to do a recording next time, another request, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do we have to get the current address so I can mail out the notice
Notice.
for next week's court date?
My address should be on my responsive motions.
Okay, I'll mail it.
It should be on the top, I think.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, and then, Mr. Bueno, do you need any additional notice of next Wednesday at 2 o'clock?
I'm sorry?
Do you need any additional notice? She was gonna mail a notice to Mr.
We have
Rebar.
his address,
You have it?
yes.
Okay. All righty, we'll mail out notices, and you're both on notice. And Mr. Rebar, you are, for legal purposes, considered to have been served with the document. You've received it, you've acknowledged it, and you've made an appearance in court. So service is complete. I think that's it for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
As I recall, you're the same way. You went down things very precisely. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you.